All right, we're live. First Skype call slash
Yeah,
recording thing.
something different, mate. Like, we can do it without having to look at each other, which is going
Yeah,
to be.
it's a whole new thing. A little bit strange, but
Although I
apparently
feel
this
like,
is how the kids do it.
yeah, this is what it's all about. This is sexting, but with voices. I was thinking about getting an inflatable you so that I don't feel so lonely. But I guess that's or we could just be in the same room. That's a thing for future people to deal with. So I just wanted to come back and introduce this second part to an outstanding show that we did. Outstanding, not in the sense that it was fantastic, although it was outstanding more in the sense that there was no resolution. In any real sense from these particular companies we're talking about with regard to customer service and retail and bits and pieces along those lines. So I know you've got a follow up to your story about that phone company,
Yeah,
and I was kept abreast of it during the week, and I was laughing my ass off, and I was hoping that you might share that with everybody else.
yeah. I mean, it's funny because what happened? We'll put the link up to the previous story where I explained why what happened with Vodafone. I'd been with Vodafone for lots of years, and why I decided to move on from them. Had a sort of bad customer experience with them, uh, and funnily enough, the other day, it's all sort of done. It's been a while now. It's been a few months or whatever, so I haven't really thought about it. But I saw a news article on Sydney Morning Herald. And it was silly, but it was all about how Vodafone's, turning over a new leaf or whatever, and they're going to focus on what's traditionally been a problem with them, service and network and all that sort of, people complaining about their services in the actual network service. Um,
Yeah,
but one of the key points was poor customer service or something. And I sort of got a chuckle out of the article and tweeted the article uh, and said something along the lines of, yeah, this is why I've moved on from these guys or whatever it was. Um, and sort of put, hashtag tweeted the Vodafone itself.
yeah, yeah.
And then, an hour later, I got a reply from the tweet from them. Um, yeah, which
That's
I
great
just thought
customer
was,
service,
yeah,
right?
it's like, what
You got to be
now?
happy with that.
Yeah, finger on the pulse when it's too late, sort of thing. Um, so, and it said, I've got it here, it said, we hate to hear you've left us. Can you let us know what happened? And then they put a
Yeah,
little, I don't know, like a little initial. So I assume that's the actual person's initial.
that'd be their internal checks
Yeah,
and balances kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
So this, like, it's SK. So whatever, Steve, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know we both like to think his name's Steve,
yeah, 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 yeah,
Sydney,
yeah.
but
Anyway,
probably in WA or overseas, or it's probably all those things you had the problem with in the first place. But yeah,
yeah,
sorry, mate, go on.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, so the I kind of looked at that and went, all right, well, you know what? Like I've written about the story I've had on my blog, so I kind of went, all right, well, whatever, mate. If you're interested, I'm not,
Yeah,
I've got Twitter only gives you 140 characters, whatever. I'm not gonna tell that story, that quickly. So I said, oh, look, if you're interested, here it is. So I
so
sent
you
them
actually sent them.
the link to the blog,
Yeah, yeah,
and then I sent another tweet after that one with the another 140 characters just to say, oh, and not to mention I'm still owed the credit because when you sort of put your number across, if it's midway through the month or whatever, you've already paid for the month. So they
ah,
have to refund your it goes into credit. It's
yeah,
half your but it's a pain trying to get that money back, and because it's such a little amount, they make you jump through hoops. Like it's like not worth jumping
yeah,
through the hoops to get
yeah, totally.
you know the
And
money.
that's part of their business model, isn't it? And other companies
Oh,
like
it's a
this,
thing.
like
Yeah,
yeah, you pay up front and then you got to fuck around and get your money back.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
Which gets to
Yeah.
your story, right? Yeah, but yeah, it's just yeah. So it's just I just threw that in there as just as an added little the issue I had, and it's further kind of exemplified by the fact that they even make it hard to, leave
Yeah.
sort of thing. Because I called about the refund and they said, yeah, no worries. It just on the day, instead of taking money, we put it in kind of thing, like, every month.
Yeah.
I got off the phone thinking it would just automatically tick over, and it didn't happen. Anyway, so it's all fun. I then, because of the refund thing, I hear back from someone else, and it says, we can check out the refund and make sure it gets back to you. I'll send you through some contact details. And then it's a couple of tweets of, this is the email address, this is the reference code,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Bullshit.
So that's like a whole separate thing now about chasing up the refund.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I'll fix. So yeah, that's a whole nother thing. And separately, I've sent that email out. I don't expect to get a refund out of that email. But anyway, so that's one different guy. But then he also read the post I sent through. So then he goes, what you described. So this is the whole story about my, going in there with the phone and all that. So he goes, what you described would upset us as much as you. It's not who we are, and that isn't how we work. Which is like exactly what I heard back from them when I first sent through a support ticket, like after I got home about that issue. Yeah. I told them, and that's exactly the sort of just generic.
Yeah, totally. It might even be exactly the bloody same, mate. Like,
it's word for word. It'd just be a copy paste. This is what you.
Yeah.
Like it kept going. Like, so I thought, whatever. I just left that alone. But then, like 2 seconds later, like he was writing the whole thing through Twitter, so it was more than one tweet.
Okay.
And then it said, but your experience was resolved in the same day. So that's not even really tight English right there. But your experience was resolved in the same day. Someone did do the wrong thing, but it wasn't all of us. It's like, what the
defensive.
Yeah. It's you don't get. This isn't like.
You're not going to stay with them because your overall customer experience is shit.
Yeah.
Because you dealt with one person who was crap.
It's not even that, right? And then he said, we did let you down. Next time we won't. And he finally stopped. And it's like, are you kidding? Like, you know what I mean? It was just laughable. So I kind of had the shits at that.
Yeah.
Because next time I'm like, what next time? So I thought, let me just put this to bed. Like, I thought I've got to respond to that, because he's missed the point, which is really shits me. They just missed the point. They never really, it's like they don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So I just put, are you serious? It was 3 out of 4 people I spoke to who didn't help me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't one guy let me down. It was like I spoke to the girl at the counter, 2 people on the phone, and then it was the 4th guy who sorted me out. And that's 3 hours. So it's not, it got resolved in one day.
Yeah, I remember that you were standing in there for quite a huge amount of time. It might have been one day on their calendar, but it was your day.
Yeah.
Of standing in there like a fucking knobhead, and that's not a slight on you. That's a slight on them.
No, that's
not being able to sort you out within 30 seconds.
And the guy did, and then when it did need to get resolved, it only took 10 minutes, and that's why, But yeah,
in a sense, is that worse? Is that worse on their part that it only took 10 minutes when it actually happened?
Yeah, like it's crazy. So yeah, I just went, and then I sort of said, "What next time?" ? I'm with a different network now. It's just this missing the point, like, completely. So I mean, it sort of ends there, and I'll probably never get my refund, and it's not worth my time to chase it up because it's only a small amount. Like, it just goes to show, like, because I even said with that, they're like, oh, give us all these details. And it's like, I've given you all these. You know who I am. You know you owe me money. It's all there. It's all recorded. Just fucking do it. Like, why do I have to keep chasing it up?
You got to go through these hoops.
Well,
they want to make sure you're keen, mate. You're dedicated.
Yeah, like, but what's there to chase up? It's like, you type my name in your computer, and it'll be there. And banking details are there because, you know, that's how I was paying, so just refund it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a refund. It's not anything I need to do that's difficult. They just need to do it. It's a click of a button.
Yeah. No, it's bullshit. Yeah. It's bullshit. It's a waste of your time further from a company that you used to deal with that you don't deal with anymore. Yeah, so, you know, and that's why that article on the paper the other day just made me laugh, because it was like, no, it's a joke. Like, there's nothing you guys are going to sort out. And I had a chat with you guy. How's this? Some with TPG, as I've said. And I rang their call center last night, and I've heard from various sources like it's the worst and blah blah blah. Rang them up because I needed a new SIM card. Like, mate, what do you do to your phones, mate? They keep fucking dying. No. I'm getting a new phone, so I need a different type of SIM card for them. Rang them up. Straight through. I was on hold for 10 seconds, and I had a conversation with someone. It wasn't a... Really? Yeah, I told him my phone number, and he's like, yep, this is blah, blah, blah. What's your name? Just check who you are. Yep, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you need a new SIM. And then he was actually, he actually said, hang on, let me check what kind of phone you're getting. Let me look that up. I want to make sure that you need one of these SIMs, and we're not just going to charge you, because sometimes these phones handle dual SIM, and you might not actually need it. Well, you can check it out. After you. Yeah, he just, this is a call center guy. He wasn't reading off the script. I was just having a fucking conversation with him. You know? Wow. So it is possible to do that and be a human. Wow. How do you feel about that? Like, obviously, it justifies not that you needed it, but it justifies your decision to move, because obviously... Oh, mate, if it was Vodafone, it'd be fucking, on hold still. Yeah. From Vodafone. Well, he would have been tweeting, mate. That would have been the problem. He's we can't make calls. We're dealing with fucking angry tweets because we're socially aware on the network now. Like, no, that's not how it works, guys. It's just funny because, one mob is rubbish and they just give you excuses, and the other mob sorts it the fuck right out, which is all you want. And it's like, well, if they can do it, I mean, TVG is a newer company and a smaller company than Vodafone as well. If they can do it, why the fuck can't you larger, longer-standing companies do it? And it's only because of, red tape, bureaucracy, and silliness on their part. CEOs and fucking, people who don't on the front lines who don't know what's going on, and it's really annoying. If TVG said to you, look, that's not something we can do, but we're still going to be good at customer service, you'd go, okay, they're still better than Vodafone. But not only are they better at customer service than Vodafone, but they went that extra step and sorted you the fuck out without any problems. Like, as we said on the last one, TPG don't have shops. So you never waste 3 hours of your life standing in one of their shops waiting for them to fucking get back to you from a call center overseas, you know? Like, that's it. They just go, well, that's how everyone's going to do it anyway. We'll just do that a bit better. Or fucking the website. Most of it's just through the web. Then it's just a different mentality. Like it's just I don't know. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm not locked in. I'm not locked in. I'm paying a fuckload, like nothing. I'm paying so little that it's kind of like you don't get to complain anyway. You feel bad for them. So it's one of those things. You pay. You pay fuck all, so you don't really expect to get sorted out. That's kind of what the risk you're taking. But when you are getting sorted out and you're paying fuck all, like an eighth of what you were paying Vodafone, you got to ask some questions. You know what I mean? Anyway. What can you say, man? You know what I mean? Like, they're just bad from top to bottom. Like, they're not going to get it. They don't get it. They're not going to get it. And now this whole thing about next time, what he should have said is there anything we can do to get you back? Not, we assume you're coming back because we're so great and whatever. Even though there's nothing they can do, and you'll probably never deal with them again, and that's fine.
Yeah.
At least be understanding that there are other options. It's that they don't hold a monopoly. They're nowhere near the market leader.
Fine, they're not. They're no one.
Yeah, exactly right. Very strange.
But yeah, again, it's not. Why don't they send me a phone in the fucking post with a SIM card and a fucking 4 months, 6 months fucking free?
Yeah.
If they really are serious about this shit, that's what they're going to have to do.
Well, they're serious about it when it's other people reading tweets and emails and Facebook responses.
Yeah.
But when it comes to actually sorting it out behind the scenes, it's like the whole thing with hybrid cars and electric cars. People don't, and green energy in your houses, people don't want to pay the extra money if other people don't know that they're paying the extra money. So that's why there's stickers and magnets and shit for people who pay that extra bit for the green electricity in their homes, so other people know. They redesigned some of these hybrid cars to look different so that more people would realise, oh wow, he's doing something for the environment. He's driving in his hybrid car. It seems similar to that. It's only the public perception that matters, not the actual customer.
Thing.
Yeah.
I get
it. Can I ask one question though?
Yeah.
I caught some of the article that you were talking about when you said there was an article about them in the paper or whatever, and you read it, and that's what sort of gave you the ticked offs.
Yeah.
Can you just very briefly, just in case other people didn't catch it, this will probably come out in a couple of days' time, and it won't be as topical then. So what was the article sort of saying? Were they whinging or were they bragging, or what was the sort of gist of it?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do a quick see if I can bring it up. It was basically a bit of a brag, saying that we know what we've done wrong, and we're gonna. Here we go.
Geez, mate, it sounds like an ex-girlfriend or something. Like we know where we went wrong.
Here we go. So it's.
We used to beat you, but not anymore. Yeah. I can change. I'm Vodafone.
Here we go. Our customers tell us they want to speak to someone who understands them. Vodafone CEO Bill Morrow. So basically, it's Vodafone launches new red plans, hope to lure customers back.
What red plan?
Yeah. So what's essentially has happened is a bunch of contracts have ended this year or something. So there's a lot less, from 7.4 million in 2010 to 6 million a few months ago, people using Vodafone. So a bunch of people like me last year, or early this year, or like whatever, have fucked off from Vodafone.
So they lost 1 million people in
mid 1.6. So I mean, it's not trivial, I guess, because that's $70 a month or whatever times 1 million people or whatever. Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
So they lost 1 million out of 7 million, essentially.
Yeah.
Like there's a bit of extra numbers on there, but essentially they lost 1/7 of their
customer base. Yeah.
Fuck, that's Jesus, mate.
And now he's talking about we're doing all the shit they should have started doing 2 years ago. Because remember, it's 24-month contracts is the sort of business model, right? So 2010 and the end of last year, they've lost, like you said, a tenth or whatever, 10% of their customer base or whatever. It's fucking ludicrous. It's over a 2-year time frame. So now they're just talking about, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're going to month plans, we're going to, all the shit that everyone else is doing. It's like, well, you're not special. You don't brag about catching up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because by the time you roll all this out, everyone else moves on to the next thing.
Oh, absolutely. So essentially what they're saying is our competitors did this and we thought it was a good idea. So now we're going to do that.
Well, we didn't think it was a good idea.
Right.
Now that is a good idea because it's, the way the world is. Now we're going to rush and try and knock it out,
Yeah, good point.
Trying to fix their network up and all that. Anyway, the article's pretty tight and not very small. But it's just a rebranding bullshit thing. Red plans, the whole, I hate when it's all marketed because, that's where all the budget went. It's probably a $10 million rebrand of all the paperwork will look different. And so all the shops will get fucking new posters or whatever. It's just all bullshit.
We go the extra mile posters.
Yeah. So
and none of that money that went on this rebrand went on actually making
They owe
something.
me $30 or whatever. So where's that fucking budget?
Some really small amount, yeah. There's no M in that number. Like, it's 10 million rebrand, but it's 30 grand on fucking, getting everything else sorted out. Oh, we got the best looking posters in the world. It's like movies.
Yeah.
Oh, the poster looks fucking amazing, but the movie's no better than that poster. So if you don't like it, don't go and watch the film. Yeah.
So anyway, that was just a bit of a thing. It was more of a chuckle,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, it's just a funny little, end bracket to your story, because I was cracking up when you were telling me about, you're in the shop and you're speaking to someone in another country and you're standing there fuming, and I know you, and just fucking fuming, and this chick's like, oh, there's other people waiting, excuse me. It's like, hang on a minute, I'll be done in a minute. No, you fucking won't. Like, that was so funny. And then they start this up, and not only do they, try and go ahead with this bullshit talking about what we're doing better and stuff, but then they try and tell you as well. Like, they're not just saying it to everyone else. They actually engaged with you one-on-one.
Yeah.
To the degree that they did, which was small because they just didn't fucking listen. But even still, they were still trying to defend their actions to you when you're not paying them any more money. In fact, they owe you money. It's like, you can't defend yourself. You've got to pay me and then we can talk.
Yeah.
At a very minimum, but I mean, not even, as I said before, not even that's going to work on you. But like, let's get square and then go. But they can't even do that, right?
Yeah, it's just, it's mate, whatever, It's, anyway, I really want to hear your little tale of, because you also had a part one of what's now going to be a 2-part.
Yeah. Thing. Yeah, and it seems contrived, but they just both happened in the same week, a couple of days apart from each other. You know what I mean? Like, I saw your deal with the Vodafone tweeting, and I thought, oh, fuck me, I've had a similar sort of thing with my issues with Hoyts, and we were talking about, there was a couple of times that I told Hoyt stories, but the one that was their fault, let's assume that it was my fault for not printing the paper on a digital ticket.
Yeah.
Let's assume that that's fucking, we got to bring paperwork into this new digital transaction. The whole thing with the UFC where we went and it didn't show, and, it occurred to me the other day that this is now the 5th one coming up this weekend, and if it doesn't show, it'll be 50-50. They've shown 6 after this weekend.
Yeah.
3 have worked, 2 so far haven't in a row, and this will be the 3rd. So it'll be 3 that have gone off hitch free. I mean, there's a couple of glitches here and there, but it wasn't really a major thing. It happens with live feeds, from around the world. It's fine. And then the other 2 that just didn't fucking work. So people might have heard that already or might not. But anyway, this is sort of a bit of an adjunct to that. It's nothing near as exciting as yours, but I'll tell you what did happen. You might remember that I got an email back from them, and it was this big, long, we've had an expert out, the projectionist he left, and then we got this other guy who's even better, and he looked at everything and had this big, massive list of explanations as to why it didn't work, which worried me because I thought, well, fuck, if you've done all the right stuff and it's still not working, then there's a bigger issue that I can't really understand why you're even offering it. The end result was that she said, basically, the problem is the satellite dish on the roof faces the wrong way or isn't high enough or something. It was the position on the roof of this dish that's a thing. And I said, well, that's not going to go away. That's the bona fides of the situation. That's the concrete part of it. Yeah. The rest is what you do. But if the infrastructure isn't there, how the fuck can you advertise?
Because that's the thing. Your issue is that the fact that they're advertising that they can do this and they're taking the money and they're not delivering it,
Oh, 100%, mate. If we went there and they said there's a 50-50 chance that this is going to work, if it does, pay on your way out. Or if it does, we'll come and get money halfway through.
Yeah.
I have no problems. Going in. But when they take your money up front, sometimes, I've booked tickets 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in advance. They take your money. They've got no problems charging a booking fee. That didn't get refunded. They've got all these little ways of getting every last buck out of you, and then to bring nothing. And it must cost them a bomb. I'm not saying they're doing it to make cash, because they're really not. To have an empty cinema sitting there out of, I think there's 8 at that particular complex.
Yeah.
So to have one that's just showing nothing is obviously not a good deal, and giving it.
But they probably get money from some other fucking thing. Like,
yeah, you're right. Look, it's
who knows?
probably a shopping centre that gives us some cash. Probably even the UFC themselves.
Yeah.
Like, thanks for showing. Here's some money for branding, and the cost is
Yeah.
free, or however it works. All that stuff that doesn't fucking matter to me.
No, that's right.
I'm the one paying the money. Who's getting screwed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, so that large email was sent to me, and that was it. I hadn't replied, and we've done a couple of shows since then, and I hadn't replied because I actually wanted to see what their deal was with advertising for the next one, for this one that's coming up this weekend. So I purposefully was sitting on it until I saw what they were going to do, and now that they've sort of started advertising it to a degree, I thought, okay, now's the time to reply, because at the end of the day, if they weren't going to do it again, then my argument was sort of validated, and I was like, okay, there's no point hammering this home to these people. They've acknowledged that there's an issue. They're not going to try and do it again. So there's no point saying don't take money if you can't provide, because they've realised they can't provide. But once they started advertising it on Facebook via email and on their fucking website, I thought, no, this is ridiculous. So my last email from Hoyts was massive, as I said, and it had all these bits and pieces, explanations and whatever. And my response is as follows. Now, my email that I read out in the other show was very polite, cordial, pleasant, understanding. I want to help you out here, but you've really given me nothing. I got their responses, and that was all fine. Their final one was just ridiculous. But I think I've still managed to maintain a level of geniality here. I still think I'm being a nice guy. I don't think I'm being a prick. And I said, dear name, I won't give names out in case there's an issue. I said, dear name, I understand the issues and thanks very much for your response. In light of straight away, I understand the issues and thanks very much for your response. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a net warrior or I'm not one of troll. Fuck, mate, I'm really not. I want this to work because it's a service that I want. It's a product that I want to consume.
You'll be a perfect fucking customer. Like, this is why I don't really get it.
Mate, I'm part of their club. Yeah. I eat a shitload of food that's way overpriced, and I pay for tickets in advance.
Yeah.
Like, don't really. So got a tattoo of Hoyts on my fucking forehead. You know what I mean? And I know, obviously there's people in the family now that can provide that. That's a whole other story. But apart from that, I don't know what the fuck else they want me to do. Anyway, I understand the issues. Thanks very much for your response. In light of the information provided, in which tests were carried out, etc., I feel that it only strengthens my point and that it's not worth the risk to outlay money, let alone the time, that was in brackets, for the event to perhaps not be shown again. So we're saying, look, you're asking me to pay. You're not asking me to pay a small amount of money. You're asking me to pay $44 for 2 tickets, let alone the time, the parking, the food, which is my choice.
Yeah, but it's why you're there.
But part of the thing, isn't it? It's not worth the risk to outlay my money all the time for the event to perhaps not be showing again. As a member of the Hoyts Rewards Club, I'll continue to visit Hoyts, and then I've listed the ones that I go to. I won't say it just in case the manager, I don't want anyone to be fired or whatever, but I'll continue to visit Hoyts, blah, 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 but I can't justify paying money for a third live event that may or may not eventuate. Regards, and then I give my name. So look, it's all very nice and pleasant. There's a very sort of, I'd like to say it's a subtle subtext, but I don't think it's necessarily that subtle, of me saying, I don't want to outlay my money, but if you give me tickets, I'll give you guys a go.
Yeah.
Is what I was trying to.
No, I think anyone who's half, cluey about customer service, who works in customer service, anyway.
I thought it was fairly clear what I was going for. Outlay money and paying money and my time. I'm sort of trying to say all that stuff. And as I said, it's a polite email. It's nice. My picture that goes along with these emails, my profile picture, which I'm sure they see, I wasn't aware of this until the other day, is a little cartoon version of me holding a teddy bear. Like, it's not, it's the least threatening thing you'll ever see. So there's no way that there's, that they can be taking it any other way than exactly what's there. And the funny part is I got no response. Nothing. Not a thing. So as much as I'd love to sit here and say, look, we've had some very genial emails and everyone's happy and fine and lovely, and we disagree, but we're discussing
Working it out, yeah.
No longer discussing it. They've decided at some point, or they're too busy or whatever to not reply to what I thought was a pretty sort of obvious get out clause for them to sort of go, okay, this is what we'll do. Like, here's a $50 voucher, cover your tickets and a drink. You know what I mean? We'll put yours in it. You and your mate will be happy. Like, anything at all to say, we understand your frustrations. We know you're a good customer because we see how many times you go to the fucking movies.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah, I think we're talking about this in some other thing, but it was like if you're a member and you buying online, they must know. They must be able to pull your name up and go, fuck me, this guy goes to the cinema every other fucking week.
Yeah.
Like, send him a fucking T-shirt and a fucking UFC package, whatever.
Well, I thought Rashad Evans was going to turn up at my house because he was at their joint the other week, signing in promo and stuff. Yeah. And I really wanted to tap him on the shoulder and say, hey, mate. But he'd obviously gone, and he could also kill me with his eyelashes, so I didn't really want to get in his face. Yeah. But I would like to have said, hey, mate, you're here, but they're not going to show it. It's not going to be on. Yeah. Like, what you're actually at is not a venue for the UFC. It may as well be a school hall, cupcake shop. Like, it's not going to happen here today. But yeah, I was really surprised that no response. I mean, having said that, it's Wednesday today. Let's assume normal office hours Monday to Friday. They've got 2 days left to get back to me. Yeah. Now, I know they've got my birth date because they needed it for whatever reason on the card. My birthday's in 2 days. It wouldn't take an absolute rocket surgeon to put all this together and go, here you go, sunshine. Have a good day at the movies on us. And if it doesn't work, go and watch whatever the fuck you want. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, because we fucked up. And we're sorry and we understand. No, not the case. Interestingly, because I have been keeping a bit of an eye on it, and I don't want to be like a social crusader. I don't have a cape or, I'm not really that interested in taking up all causes. But this one's a little bit interesting to me because it's so easily resolved in the sense that, like, okay, free tickets. I've said it a few times. It sounds like I'm grubbing for freebies. People, you got to understand, I spend so much money at this place. It's not even, it's probably, aside from rent and food, my third greatest expense. You know what I mean? It's definitely up there. And they can see all that because I've given them all the information they requested, and they can keep track of that if they want to. So when I'm looking on their Facebook page and there's people bitching and moaning, which I'm doing 100%, bitching and moaning about the cost, about the session times, about the quality of the popcorn. Like there's other people that have other problems that at the end of the day are not as fundamental, perhaps. I mean, the cost thing obviously is huge, but the cost going in. Yeah. So it's not as though they say on the way out, here's your bill. Oh, fuck, tickets $50. I didn't know. Like you pay in advance for everything. You don't pay for your drink on the way out. They don't get you to piss in a cup and weigh it and go, you drank 2.3 litres of Coke or whatever. Like, it's not. You know what you're paying for. Yeah. So while that is a fundamental issue, it's a choice to still go ahead with it. Yeah. What I've got, I think, is a pretty fundamental issue. I've paid for a service. You guys are in the business of showing things on large screens to rooms full of people. I want to be one of those people. Here's my money. Thanks very much. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. And not only does nothing happen, but you were there twice now. They come out and they and ah for fucking.
Oh, they're going to know how to handle when it's all. Yeah. There's no real good process for that. It's a bunch of kids with their fingers crossed. Like it's just not.
Punch me or throw glass.
Yeah, it's not good.
And I understand why they're not sending in an adult male, because there's some guys in there that take this thing pretty fucking seriously, and there could be some trouble. But yeah, it's just an interesting lesson in what not to do. You know what I mean? And as we said before, there's only really two companies out here that have, cinemas that you go to. There's a couple of others, but really, for the blockbusters that are coming out now, you go to the big screens with the big sound system. Yeah. So, Anyway, I just thought it was a really interesting little ending to the story of, they're not even trying to anything anymore. And if they send me something in the next couple of days, I'll eat all these words and I'll let you know how it happens.
That's fine. Yeah, well, we'll talk about it then. But that's the thing. All these companies still go by this. They're taking it all for granted.
Yeah.
That's why it bothers me. Like it's like they're just taking it for granted. When right now there are so many options available to us. I know the cinema thing's a little different, but not. That's not in 5 years' time. Not when the TV, your home screen's going to be the size of a wall, and I don't know, some company starts up theatrical releases streamed online while they're at the cinema. But you pay $150 for a stream or something, and then you're like, well, fuck, I have 10 guys over and we won't go to the movies.
Yeah. Oh,
I know that today that sounds ludicrous, but no, we're using Skype right now to do this. And
I can't even see you. And it's an absolute delight.
Big companies, telco companies were laughing at Skype, saying, "Oh, that will never take off." Well, we use it every day at work. Everyone is using it day to day.
Yeah.
Because it's just a different concept. They can't wrap their head around it. And so things that sound ludicrous now, the examples I'm using. Who knows? Why take it for granted? Why not just get your shit together? And it's not even a lot. It's not like you're expecting some fucking your screen's not big enough, your sound system's not big. You're not, you just want the thing to work. You say you're going to provide.
I just want them to do what they say they're going to do that I've paid for.
Yeah.
They're not running a charity. They're taking money. Yeah. They're not giving it out for free. Yeah. They should give this next one out for free and say, we fucked up twice. Take a chance on it.
Everyone that bought a ticket should have got an email saying, look, guys, this one's on us because we know we fucked up twice. And you're probably
my email to them was essentially saying, look, tell me why. Tell me why I should come back. And that was, as I read in the other show, that was my email from a little while ago, and they have not addressed that question. They've just given me excuses as to why it didn't work.
3 emails ago, they still haven't said, we've 100%, we've fixed this, blah, blah, blah. Bring your rewards card to the counter when you come, and we'll give you some free fucking drink and a popcorn or whatever, just to, All right.
It's like they've answered. Yeah. Sorry, mate, you go.
No, it's so fucking basic.
It's like they've answered the question they wish I'd asked instead of the question I did ask. Yeah. so they saw my email and went, oh, Luke wants to know what we
happened?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is what we did. We did everything 100% perfectly, honest, and it still didn't work. Oh no. It's like, well, hang on a minute. I'd argue that you did everything 100% perfectly then if it still didn't work. If a movie theater can't show fucking movies, I would suggest, you know what I mean? I'm glad this level of incompetence isn't in, hospitals. Oh, no, I can't do surgery. Oh, no. It's stupid. But anyway, as I say, they've got 2 days here. Let's see what happens. I just thought it was an interesting close to both of our stories because
guarantee we will talk about
trying.
Yeah. I guarantee we will talk about the UFC thing again.
This is my question to you, just before we sign off on this episode.
Yeah.
On Sunday, a couple of big fights, a couple of big names coming back.
Yeah.
Are we going to risk going to Hoyts again? Risk. Not are we going to go, because going is fine.
It's going to be worth the risk because we have to, it's the part 3 has to happen. We either need to say, it all went fine, guys, Hoyts all the way, or we have to tell another awesome story that afternoon. You know what I mean? So
it's just frustrating because everyone could sit here with a microphone and tell stories about shit customer service, and that's really annoying. But
maybe we tell it's the redemption part 3, fucking the Dark Knight Rises, whatever.
It's not the Green Mile, mate. Michael Clark Duncan's not going to turn up at my house and suck the cancer out of my face. Well, he's certainly fucking not now that he's dead. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's just annoying that we get all this shit customer service and then we get the excuses online, newspapers, television. Then we get the blaming of everybody else. And it's like this is one very, very small example. I don't by any means think that this is the end of the world. but it is my example, and I'm a consumer.
There's stories like this all over the place, you know, and the thing is, it is the end of the world for all of these people. They are struggling, like and that's why it's funny. If it was just me and they're sitting there going, well, fuck, you know, look at the numbers. Fucking Vodafone lost 1 million customers over the last contract period.
Yeah,
that's fucking stupid. That's terrible.
How many people in this country?
Yeah, are having the same story I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's 23 million people. The point I'm trying to make is there's 23 million.
Yeah.
There's not 100 million.
Yeah.
So to lose 1 million is a huge percent. How many of those people have phones?
Yeah.
You'd estimate it to be something around 18 million, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
So to lose 1/18 of Australia's population, of the population of your clientele, is fucking stupid, man. I mean, like, what company can really do that and still be claiming to be doing the best they can do?
Yeah.
Anyways, I think we've run this one out, to be honest. I'm a bit worked up now, man. I'm a bit fired up. I can't wait to get to the next topic. So let's fucking go.
Yeah.